They've done it. We made it. We survived till season 7. So they finally dropped the Game of Thrones season 7 episode 1. And I'm just going to have a little talk about it. We're going to recap it. We start off in as Walder Frey. You know, he's looking a bit better than he did at the end of season 6. You know, it's good. Looking good for the man. And, you know, he's having another feast. Crazy. And make the joke that they're having 2 feasts. Good old Walder Frey. And, you know, he's apparently, according to himself, he's organised all the phrase that means something. And they're just having a feast, you know. He's talk about stuff, how they betrayed the Starks at the Red Wedding, and then all that they did, killing a pregnant woman and a mother of 5, and then everyone starts choking on their wine. And then you realise it's Arya Stark, if you didn't already. It's pretty obvious, to be honest. But yeah, they're all dying. She's killed all the Freys. She left Walder's wife alive so that someone can spread what happened at the Twins. She tells the wife to tell everyone that winter came for the Freys and the North remembers. So yeah, that was a very actual badass line, badass thing to do with her faceless man training. That's another one off of her list. After that, we see the Night King and his legions of dead whites marching through the snow to the south. He creates, it seems the Night King creates a storm that covers their movements. He doesn't actually like create the weather, like the wind has already came. He's just like manipulating it, sort of thing. And we even see some giant whites, which I speculated ever since they showed that image as season 7 promo. It looked like a giant. Turns out they do have giant whites. So you just see there a huge army of the dead marching. We see this through Bran, through his visions, as he and Mira finally made it to the wall, and they meet Ed, good old Ed boy. They tell him who they are. He doesn't believe them. Bran tells Ed of where he's been, like at Hardhome, and he's like, right then, come on in. Meanwhile, back in Winterfell, Jon has said that not only men, but also women need to be trained to fight against this mounting threat of the White Walkers. One of the old lords disagrees, but Lyanna Mormont puts him in his place and says that she's going to start training everyone on Bear Island to fight. And then there's a bit of conflict between him and Sansa about ancestral houses of House Umber and House Karstark, how they betrayed the Starks to fight for Ramsay Bolton. We see, I believe it's Alice Karstark and young Ned Umber, and they both swear fealty to the Starks once again. Sansa believes that they should have given their the Umbers and the Karstarks ancestral home to a loyal house, whereas Jon believes that it is their house, so they should have it, despite the fact that they betrayed the Starks. You know, sowing some seeds of discourse there. Back in King's Landing, Queen Cersei is drinking wine and plotting some military strategies against her enemies. She sent a little note to Jon saying to come to bend the knee or face the punishment of traitors. And then she talks to Jaime about how they have enemies everywhere and very little allies after what happened to the Freys. She emphasizes how Jaime freed Tyrion, and now Tyrion is with the enemy. He's working with Daenerys Targaryen. This sows like discourse between those two. Jaime, they say they have no allies, and then later on, Euron Greyjoy is shown with his Ironborn ships sailing towards King's Landing. Jaime's a bit taken aback of why they're using the Ironborn to... Euron is pushing for an alliance with the Lannisters against Daenerys, as half of the Ironborn fled to support Daenerys, while the rest now support the Lannisters. Euron promised to bring them a precious gift after Cersei declined his gracious offer of marrying her and having sex with her, saying he's got 2 hands. So he's going to get them a precious gift, and I believe this could be the Dragon Binder, which is a horn that apparently controls dragons or something. And we get to see good old Sam Tarly at the Citadel, which isn't that glamorous. We see a montage of what he does in his days. He puts back books, empties bedpans, serves the food, scrubs the bedpans, etc., etc. And we start to see like a little comparison between the food they eat and their excrement. They look very similar. very, very similar actually. The way that montage was cut together, it was very good. I enjoyed the way they did it. We also see him steal some keys off of a maester, which he then breaks into the forbidden section, steals a few books, takes them back to his house or whatever, his living quarters. There we learn that Dragonstone is the home to a mountain of dragonglass, and we also see the dagger that Littlefinger uses, which I think goes to Arya, as we've seen in promotional images. So yeah, he's sending it to Jon that there's a lot of dragonglass at Dragonstone, as one of the things Jon highlighted was that they're going to be mining for Dragonstone up in the north. We also see Ser Jorah succumbing to grayscale in Sam Tarly's little bit, where he collects the bowls from the doors. We see like a grayscale hand shoot out, and he asks if Daenerys has come yet. Yeah, obviously hasn't. And there's also a little Ed Sheeran cameo, where he was a Lannister soldier sitting around with a bunch of other Lannister soldiers in the Riverlands, and Arya comes across them. They offer her food, they offer her some booze, some wine. She happily takes them. Well, not the food so much, but the wine. They talk about their family. It's all heartwarming and stuff, and it's probably going to set up a brutal killing where Arya kills them all. As we see, they have swords. She'll scan out where the weapons were. It's all going to be very good. But I did like the first episode, actually. It was pretty good. I'm hyped for the next 6 episodes, because I think it's only a 7-episode season. But it looks good. And finally, we see Daenerys. Oh yeah, we also see the Brotherhood of Banners talking about stuff. They come to like an old house. The Hound knows the people that died there, so he buries them. The Hound talks about why Beric Dondarrion has been brought back so many times, and then he looks into the fire and sees visions of what's coming. He sees the White Walkers and how they are passing through East March at the Sea, and that's probably where the scene where they're all surrounded by White Walkers happens. That's my guess anyway, because how else would they end up there? And yeah, Dragonstone. Daenerys finally makes it, and as they open the gates and they walk up, and then they open the gates to the throne room. It's so good. We see Daenerys pull down that Stannis Baratheon banner and walk through to the war room, and where she says,
"Shall we begin?"
Which is a great way to close the episode. I'm really happy with the way they did that. But I'm actually looking forward to season 7. So if you want more, I'll do more. I'm probably going to do more anyway. But if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good day.
I cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life.
But perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our king.